Alright guys, so I'm going to react to this today. This was actually posted by the Budley Wiser. I'll leave the link down below in the description to the channel and also this video. But I wanted to react to it today because I thought it'd be a fun video to talk about. So it says NFL commercials, controversial and horrible calls for the 2023 season week 8. As always, I will be stopping this video throughout, really breaking it down in my own opinion. I'm not a referee, but as you know with these videos, react videos, I really do break them down throughout the whole entire video. So this is probably, for example, a 17-minute video. This video right here will probably be like 40 minutes, okay? Just saying, if you want to watch it uncut, just straight up, I'll leave a link down below in the description for you. But this is, my take on everything. Let's watch the first play.
Lawrence, hit as he throws, wide open, Christian Kirk. And 2 flags down as Lawrence got pummeled on the play.
Roughing the passer, number 31 of the defense. 15-yard penalty at the end of the play.
Alright, so let's start this off right away. Roughing the passer. Man, I knew it was going to start off with roughing the passer because that's such a difficult call to call. And yes, I'm a Bengals fan. Yes, this is the Steelers getting the flag here. But I'm going to say, and I'm going to be honest here, that it's one of those things. I'm going to do my playback speed here, and I'm going to go ahead and mute it. Because I want to see exactly what... Alright, so here's the breakdown of roughing the passer. First off, roughing the passer is obviously you hit the quarterback after he throws the football. That's number 1. Number 2 is leaning your body weight into the player. So if you land on the player, your body weight, and you're not trying to avoid or pull off in any way, that is roughing the passer. That is what we understand is called roughing the passer. We also understand roughing the passer is, if you're Tom Brady, that's roughing the passer. So there's like so many stipulations on what roughing the passer is. It's almost to a point now when I see roughing the passer that I'm like, really? Are we really going to even call this anymore? Because now it's getting to a point where it's ridiculous. So right here, can he stop his momentum from sacking Trevor Lawrence, right? That's number 1 I look at. No, he cannot. He's running full speed at Trevor Lawrence, okay? He's looking full speed at him. He's trying to tackle him. Number 2, does he land on him with his full body weight, or does he try to maneuver it around? And this actually goes to another thing. You cannot pile drive someone. You cannot grab them and throw them to the ground. That's another thing. He does grab him and throws him to the ground. Now, you could make the argument that, when he does that, he doesn't, lay on him or drop his body weight on him. He tries to move out to the left-hand side. Let's see what Gene Samus says. I think they probably ask him, about this.
Automatic first down.
It is Keanu Neal who gets there and then continues on the follow-through, landing on top.
Alright, so they really didn't say anything else. I think that is a roughing the passer. I think it's roughing the passer, but it's just part of a bang-bang play, but it is roughing the passer. Just a little side note there, give my analysis. I think that's roughing the passer.
But now time is the issue. Pickett forced a clock and he tossed it ahead. Pickett is down. Jacksonville is running. Gotts has got Pickett.
On the field is a deflected pass, incomplete pass.
And
second down.
Pickett's in trouble. Steelers got to the line quickly, just trying to get the play going, and Pickett...
Please reset the game clock for 14 seconds. 14 seconds.
Takes a shot here and got...
See, that is roughing the passer. That's a good example of this not called roughing the passer. So, right here, just going back to it, he does lower his body. He drops his body weight on Kenny Pickett here. And obviously that leads to an injury, but the ball was already thrown out of his hands, right? Deflected. Now, the question is, can he stop his momentum? Probably no. We go back a tad bit more, just to kind of take a general look at this. He throws the ball. By the time he throws it, he really can't stop his momentum. Could he divert his momentum and try to, spin around and get around him? Yes. But tackling him here is not really that bad. This is the bad part. is that when he slams him to the ground here and he drops his weight, his whole entire left side of his body on Kenny Pickett. That is roughing the passer in every way possible. Now, this is not called roughing the passer. I think this is an incorrect call by the NFL. Again, roughing the passer is so iffy back and forth, but theoretically speaking, in the theory of what we understand roughing the passer is, that is roughing the passer, 1,000%.
That's the question mark you would have about the slam at the end of the
player was injured
play.
after the 2-minute warning. By rule, that team is charged with timeout. Pittsburgh will be charged their third and final timeout. 30-second runoff. 30-second timeout.
Remember, I was disputing the body weight call that was early in the game. The reason that you're not seeing a body weight call there is he's not on top of him. That's a shoulder to the side of him as he takes him into the turf.
We'll call it 55 yards. Boswell leans into it. Boswell knocks it through. For now, the Steelers have points. Will they stand?
Offside on the right guard of the offense, lining up over the football. 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Big emphasis when you're going for short yardage play. Well, when you're kicking a field goal or a point after touchdown, it's like a short yardage play with everyone packed in tight.
All right, so they don't show this play again, which I find weird because I feel like he should have included the replay of it. Because I'm sure they showed the replay. So they're saying that this guy right here, the right guard, one of these guys was lined up over the ball and he was offsides. Now, I've seen this all over Twitter, this exact play they're talking about here, and based on what I've seen, it doesn't look like he's offsides at all. This looks like it's just a bad call and, negating a 55-yard field goal, which is really horrendous. But, see, that's interesting. Obviously, the line judge saw something that he thought the guy was offsides, but based on what I've heard and seen, it's very questionable.
Boswell leans.
Emphasis
Over the football.
and not lining up in the neutrals.
Allen's looking at really quick, guys, is look. I think what Allen's looking at really quick, guys, is look, the ball can be moving, but if it's in a runner's possession, when that knee hits the ground, then the ground causes a fumble. This is so close, and I think when you look at it, I don't know that you can overturn it, and I think this is what makes the ruling on the field so important. Now, they did change that and went with fumble at the end. Let's hear what Allen Eck has to say.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Pittsburgh. Please.
All right, hang on. Let's break this down. So this is always the interesting thing too. Whenever they call a foul on the field, so like a fumble, for example, it has to have enough evidence to overturn that fumble. And if there's not enough evidence, then yeah, they're not going to overturn it. So it's a very, that's why whatever called on the field matters immensely. But we don't really get a good angle of this. I'm going to play this at like 0.25 speed because I want to see this. So it looks, because what it looks like, and I'm going to do 0.50 actually. What it looks like to me is that he hits the ground and then the ball squirts out. And it's not a fumble. That's what it looks like to me, but I need to see a better angle. All right, so right here he has the ball, right? Okay, has the ball, the ball, it doesn't look like it's moving. Now you can't even see the ball. Like, what are these angles they're showing us? Oh. So that ball right there is moving, and it's like squirting out. And, sounds so wrong to say, but his knee is not down at this moment in time. The ball is moving. That's his knee down. I mean, if they showed us another angle, we could actually see what this looks like. But instead, they just show us, like, the crappiest angle possible. Alright, so this is a better angle. Okay. So, as he's going down here, ball's right here. See, that's so close. Like, right here, it looks like his knee is down. He is down right here, okay? His elbow is also down. Is that ball in his control? Yes, that looks like the ball is in his control right there. Again, when he hits the ground, knee on the ground, elbow on the ground, he is down. The thing is, though, I think what they're saying is, was it moving before he hit the ground? Did he lose control of it? And again, from this angle, it does not look like he lost control of it in any way possible. It looks like he had it fully under control, but then once he hit the ground, the ball stripped out. No, it is moving, though. It is moving. You tell me down below, guys. That's questionable. The ball is moving in some orientation.
10-22. 10
Need to get to that 35. Not much. 4th and 1. It's not a sneak. Instead, DeMarcado stood up. It looks shorts.
Watch Roquan Smith, number 0. Watch this lick. Actually, that was Pierce again. I saw Roquan at the end of it. That was 58 Pierce again.
Now, Ross, from that spot, we saw the down the line angle of where that marker was. That's going to be close.
He just moved. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? I've never seen that before in my life. He just moved it back half a yard. All right, let's watch the run. They should have gone quarterback sneak. Pierce is unbelievable. I don't think they got a favorable spot. Watch this right here. What is that?
All right, so I've seen that all over Twitter, by the way. Why he moved the ball back is because the ball was not correctly spotted. If right here is a first down, right? This is the first down. This was incorrectly spotted for pretty much a first down. If you watch the play and we go back and look at it, here's why they moved the ball back. So let's play this once again on this run right here. So he gets the ball right. Does he cross this pylon or this line right here, right? No. Never. Doesn't. Still doesn't. Going down. Does right there. But the question is he down before he does that? Yes, he is down and contacted before he reaches forward to get the first down. So he is a yard short. They respotted the ball correctly. It's just weird because the first spot of the ball was incorrect and they didn't correct themselves right away. They corrected themselves after they were going to go measure it, which is really weird. Because that's when he is down. It's like literally weird here. It's like right. Okay. First off, why did this speed up right there? Okay. Let me do a little bit. That is down right there. He is down right here at this moment in time. The ball is right here. That's not a first down. That is that short. And again, so they correctly spotted the ball, but the problem is they started off with a bad spot. So they didn't do the job at first, so it made them looking like them respotting it was them cheating. That's a good call, a good spot. It was just a crappy job by the officials. So that's just the refs being stupid and not doing their job correctly at first, but it was them correcting their wrongs. So I'm not against that idea. I'm not against that concept. That was a good. I know it's crazy to look at, but it wasn't that bad. All right. Let me see. So far, these haven't really been too negative in the refs' favor. Against them, I'll say. There have been some questionable ones, but not too bad.
I didn't even know you're allowed to do that. Right before they're about to measure,
They just changed
he
the
pulls
spot.
the ball back.
Lawrence is in the backfield. Wilson escapes, throws on the run. He's got a man. First down. Jets have to hurry though. Lazard. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wilson with 1 second.
All right, let's go back to this one. So here's what I'm thinking is being said here is that, first off, it's the Dak Prescott playoff rule. You guys remember the Dak Prescott versus, was the 49ers, I think it was, where he tried to run up after a run play. He tried to run up and clock the ball, but he couldn't do it because the referee has to go in there, place the ball, call it a live ball, and then leave. He has to get away from the play for you to be able to collect the ball, and it could be considered down. So I think what they're arguing here is that he never got away. I mean, the referee placed the ball, right? Obviously, he has to touch the ball. All he has to do is touch the ball there. Usually he has to place it, but I think he just has to technically, he could be touching it here. But then he has to get out of the play because you can't, in theory, have the referee messing up the defensive formation. You can't let that happen. So the ref now has to get out of the play. The ref never gets out of the play. The defense never is able to get set. They hike the ball and spike it, but there's never a situation. This is why Dak Prescott, that playoff game where he ran and tried to spike it, they couldn't get the spike off because the ref has to get out of the play after he touches the football. You give the ball to the ref places it down, touches it, and leaves. This is not following the rule that was put into place by the NFL on this concept, and they kind of bent the rules here to give a game-tying field goal to the Jets, and the Jets end up winning. So that's a questionable decision right there. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's a questionable, that should not be in that situation. I'll say it like that.
1 second.
Beaton begins from the 21. And dropping a shot play downfield for Darnell Mooney. Brought it in with a flag. Was Mooney touched down by contact? He's still going. Now the whistle finally blows.
Yeah, it looked like Mooney made the catch and nobody touched him. He got up and sprinted on his way. It was blown dead. Continued to play down there. Derwin James eventually did sort of sling him out of bounds. The official was looking and it looked like he was considering it to be a live play. Then watch him look back over his shoulder as someone apparently blew it dead. Don't hear a whistle. Terry, got anything to add to that one?
Just that the rule is that once he gets control, if he's touched, then he's down by contact. But he wasn't, so it's like you said, we didn't hear a whistle. We're not sure how this got stopped.
Heading to the 2-minute warning.
All right, so let's break that down then. So, all right, let me skip it down to 0.5 here. All right, so it was a catch. At first, I thought this was a penalty. It says flag, but I guess the flag got picked up. So, at first, what I thought this was offensive PI, right? Because right there, is that offense or defense? A PI. Because it looks like he's pushing off of him, but it also looks like the cornerback is grabbing his arm. This could just be a good no call here, which is pretty much just, they're fighting for the football. But the reason why he dives is really because this guy is holding his arm. So you could call defensive pass interference, number one. Number two, okay. I'm guessing, they call the play dead right here then, right? Yeah, so I'm guessing they call the play dead right here because he gives up. Now, when did they call the play dead?
Mooney touchdown. Flag.
Hang on.
Downfield for Darnell Mooney.
Okay. They call it dead here. Okay, so they call it dead once he hits the ground. Which, in theory, okay, so you're like, well, he gets up and he keeps running the ball. It depends on where you call it dead. Because if they're calling dead right here, then you can make the argument that 26 would have not, would have chased, Mooney on this play and got up to him. But if they called it dead, I think they called it dead, if I believe so correctly here. Once he gets up and starts running, this is when they call it dead. So once he gets, free and open field, they're like, oh, no, you might have been touched. We're going to call it dead. And this is actually a big mistake by the referees because they tell the referees over and over again, do not do this. Do not call a play dead until it's officially dead. And the reason why you don't call it dead early is because of this exact same perspective. If you call it dead early, then you don't know what the play, you are taking away the potential of a touchdown. You're taking away a potential of a big play. And obviously the NFL, they love big plays. We love big plays as fans, right? So you're taking away that concept by calling it dead. So that's why when you call these plays dead, they tell the refs, do not call it dead. Because you don't know what could potentially happen, on this play. And it could be a highlight reel type of play. So it's a bad call by the ref to call it dead. They should have let the play out and then looked back at it and said, okay, well, was he touched? Was he down? Did he catch the ball? Like, what's the scenario going on here? Right? You let the play go out and then you go back and then you figure it out. You know, the idea that, like, if you're cutting something, you can always, you know, if you cut a little, you can always cut more. But if you don't cut a little, you cut too much, you can never go back. That's how that play and how the NFL really looks at when it comes to these referees and calling a play dead.
We didn't hear a whistle. We're not sure how this got stopped.
Heading to the 2-minute warning. Major retreats, throws across to Komet. His tight end was not targeted. Komet is furious. He broke out of that, and they whistled him with forward progress stopped at the 14.
Ruling on the field is that the runner's progress was stopped.
Permanently gone after this game.
Yeah, ain't coming back.
All right, so I want to go ahead and go back to that original play. So apparently they said that they never called a whistle. So they don't know how the play got called dead. No one called a whistle. So you play into the whistle. That's what they teach you in football. I've not played NFL football. I played 4 years of high school football. And they taught you play to the whistle, okay? So you keep playing until you hear the whistle. Once you hear the whistle, you stop playing. But if you don't hear the whistle, you better tackle whoever has the ball, right? So that's interesting that they did not, you know, that the play call got called dead without a whistle being called. Now, this one, what they're going to say probably is forward progress was stopped. They do this when certain situations, depending on what team is playing. And I'm not kidding when I say this, and I know this might be, oh man, you're just blaming the refs. No, this is literally a team basics how they call this. Because this right here, this is Travis Kelce. They're going to let him play this out and go for 6. That's just how it works. But because this is, you know, Cole Kmet of the Bears, they're going to stop this play. Now, in reality, the reason why they stop these plays is because of injuries, right? You don't want the player to get injured. And the longer you allow these plays where the guy is stopping his forward progress to happen, the more chance of injuries. Because if you're holding up a guy, we saw this a couple years ago, actually, with Devontae Adams back when he was on the Packers. I think it was it was the Bears guy, the Bears middle linebacker, Danny Trevathan. Devontae Adams got held up because he was trying to break a tackle. So Danny Trevathan comes in and smashes him in the face with it because his forward progress is stopped, but Danny Trevathan was trying to make the tackle. So he headhunted him and lowered his helmet and smashed him in the head. And that's why they want to avoid the forward progress from stopping and avoid, you know, injuries going forward. But this type of stuff right here, again, this is a team situational basics. If this is Kelce, they're going to let this play go because they know Kelce might break it. But Cole Kmet here, they probably think, oh, he's probably not going to break it. Let's just call the play dead because, you know, his forward progress has stopped. And according to the NFL rule, this is how you're supposed to call it. The NFL rule says if your forward progress stops and he's clearly going backwards here, you got to call it. The problem is, again, you can see he breaks a tackle and he's going, but his forward progress was halted for a couple of seconds, and that's what you call it. It is a situational team basics. Depending on the team, depends on what call will be made.
It was not targeted. Komet is furious. He broke out of that, and they whistled him with forward progress stopped at the 14.
Ruling on the field is that the runner's progress was stopped.
Permanently gone after this game.
Yeah, ain't coming back. From the 30, Herbert, can you get rid of that, or is that a fumble? The ball not whistled at this point. The play not dead.
I think he threw it, but I don't know if there was anybody there.
There is nobody there for sure. It's grounding.
Ruling on the field is this is an incomplete pass. It will be 3rd down.
He was definitely inside the pocket.
Please set the game clock to 14 minutes and 18 seconds, please. Thank you.
Terry, you want to take a run at that one?
Yeah, Chris, that's clearly intentional
Thank
grounding.
you.
He's not. Eckler's not in the vicinity of that pass. This is absolutely intentional grounding.
All right, so let's go through the rules of intentional grounding. First off, in the pocket, check. Being pressured, check, because obviously most of the time you get intentional grounding is when you're being pressured. That's the whole point of intentional grounding. You're trying to get the ball out because you're being pressured. Check 3, there's no receiver in the area. And check 4, you do not get the ball past the line of scrimmage. Those are all the checks to get intentional grounding. So while yes, this is probably not a fumble, I know there was probably people who would say, well, is this a fumble? No, this is not a fumble. Obviously, he's just throwing the football, right? At first, I say people say that, not obviously afterwards. once you see the play, he does throw the football. But no, this is a 1,000% intentional grounding here. That's a bad call. It's a bad miss. And what down was it? And I think this is what really... Hang on. Let me go back. That's 2nd and 7. So that's a huge call right there. Now, it's fourth quarter, down by 23 points. Is that call going to change the game? No, it's not. But it is a principle of you got to make sure you call those correctly. I mean, you can't... Even though, yes, you're like, well, come on, man. It's the fourth quarter. Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter, though. That's correct call. And this is the pocket. This is not past the line of scrimmage. That's a penalty every single time. And the reason why I say, you know, like, it doesn't matter if you don't call it in this game, you're probably not going to call it in another game that does matter. So that's why it's important.
They fake it to Gibbs here, and now that play was being blown up as pressure by Robert Spillane off the edge. Goff just had to get rid of it.
That's close to intentional grounding.
Spillane off the edge.
All right, so now we got to look at, okay, in the pocket. Is he in the pocket, though? Hang on. Because now this is questionable. So the pocket would technically be, yeah, so this is, yeah, so he's in the pocket, okay. Obviously, he throws under pressure. That's 100%, right? Okay, so he's 100% in the pocket, 100% under pressure, throws the ball, does not get past the 40, which is the line of scrimmage, and there's no one in the area. See, this is what I'm saying. This game, it's early in the game. Now, the Lions end up winning this game, okay? But at the end of the day, this is 11 minutes ago in the first quarter of this game. This is a crucial play here, right? 1st down and 10. They're having a drive. They're getting going. You have to make sure you call those penalties. And I know, again, Roger Goodell came out, well, the refs only miss like 100,000 calls a year. This is a problem. This changes a football game. So you can't miss these type of calls. This is a horrible miss right here.
Now that play was being blown up as pressure by Robert Spillane off the edge. Goff just had to get rid of it.
That's close to intentional grounding. John, what'd you think? I mean, nobody was there. The back was actually, it was not a screen. He was actually trying to stay in and help protect.
Correct. He remains in the pocket, and there is no player in the vicinity.
Hoping to get him back next week. We'll keep it on the ground here to Mostert. Second stab at it. Football came loose. I believe that the whistle had been blown. This will be interesting. Well, I think here to be dead, and that's what they'll say. Forward momentum stopped. Play dead.
Progress was stopped. 3rd down.
See his numbers there.
All right, we got to break that down. This is another forward progress play was stopped. And again, they do this for injury purposes, so a player doesn't get injured. But, and also because if his forward progress stops and they hold him up, eventually they might just punch the football out. So that's another reason why you would call that. Now, this is a very crucial call in a game that's a 7-point game with 3 minutes to go. So this is a very important call. You have to make sure this is correct. Now, the question is, was his forward progress stopped? That's so questionable. Because, you know, the idea of, like, second effort, like, you give your second effort and that sometimes gets the first down. That's a really questionable call because he's still going, right? He's giving second effort and the ball gets punched out. No, I think I might side with the refs on this one. I might side with the refs on this one because right here, look, okay, I'm going to say forward progress was stopped. Because it looks like right here, he's just being held up. And he's not, like, pushing or trying to dive. He just literally is... He's just being held up and the ball gets punched. So, I'm going to call that a good call by the refs. I don't think that's a bad call. I think that definitely one of those situations where it's like, it was close. And I understand why on the field, they might just want to call that, like, forward progress stopped. And then go back and review it. But I think that's a good call right there, in all honesty.
See his numbers there when he's been under pressure. 3rd down and 15. Under pressure, lasers over the middle. Caught by McBride. Won't go down easy. Has the 1st down. Wants the touchdown. And has the effort from everybody. Touchdown, Cardinals! Was this ruled right, not ruled down, forward progress not stopped?
A little more than I've seen before, Chris, to be honest with you. Look, right at this point when you've got someone that is not really moving forward much at all and really for a few steps there, not going anywhere, the truth of it is from an officiating lens, if you allow that to continue to just kind of inch its way forward, you're inviting a lot of other activity and a lot of bodies coming in there where injury levels or safety could become an issue. But I truthfully was surprised that that wasn't killed a little earlier, right around the 1.5 yard line.
See, this is exactly what I said earlier. Remember when I said earlier when it came to Cole Kmet? Some teams are going to get it, some teams are not. That's the same concept of the Cole Kmet play, where his forward progress clearly was stopped on the play. He was shut down on this play. And they kept pushing, kept going for the end zone. And yes, at the end of the day, do I think they should let him keep going? Yes, because it's more fun. It's a bigger play happening. But at the same time, though, this forward progress is stopped. He is going backwards. He catches the football here, right? And you can see he goes to the right, okay? And then he gets turned around. And then right here, his forward progress right here is stopped. He is going backwards. He just lost 2 yards. You got to call it there. You got to call that there. But again, like I said, I mean, if you're following the NFL rule and what the whole, Kmet play earlier, you got to call that. I don't think you call that because I think you let the play go out and you see what happens. But at the same time, again, if you're going to follow the NFL rule, and as the NFL here, if you're going to have a rule, you have to make sure that's as, cookie cut, done exactly every single time, exactly the same way. You have to make sure it's every single time. This is the rule. This is how we execute it. This is how we do it. So, that was a bad call in my opinion. I think if it was a bad call for the aspect of what the NFL is trying to preach. I think it was a good call for not calling it as a fan. But as a NFL rule, I think you got to call that.
And I think the hand fighting was good on the front end here. We see good hand fighting, but then when you watch DeAndre Hopkins put that arm around, kind of spin the D back, and then propel himself to the inside, to me, that rises to the level of offensive pass interference.
It rises to the level. How is that not OPI? What are you talking about? It rises. Bro, he literally grabbed his neck. Is this not pass interference anymore? Did I wake up go in a coma and wake up to not realizing what PI was anymore? Bro, he's around his neck, grabbing his neck, turning him around. This is clearly PI. That's not even a question. Bro, you know what this is? This is hey, listen, DeAndre Hopkins hasn't done anything all year. The Tennessee Titans need one. Will Levis is in. We can sell Will Levis jerseys. Don't call this call. That is clearly, and I say as cookie cutter as possible. I mean, AJ Terrell literally gets turned around 4 times from him. The point of offensive pass interference is the receiver is not allowed to change or disorient the cornerback on the going for the football. He literally forces the cornerback to do spins. That's clearly OPI. That's a horrible call. That is a horrible missed call. That's what I expected in this video, I'll be honest with you.
Himself to the inside, to me, that rises to the level of offensive pass interference.
Play action here for Levis. Cocks that arm, looking for Hopkins. All kinds of contact with A.J. Terrell, and no flag this time.
DeAndre Hopkins is not open, although he knows he wants the ball. He tries a little arm over move, and a lot of theatrics there at the end.
Well, D-Hop got away with one.
I think
AJ may have got away with one, too. He put his arm around and kind of pulled him down. He put his arm around and kind of pulled him down. He's trying to go back through the defender. You see that called a lot.
All right, so let's go back to this play. So first off, again, as always, what you got to look at is, was the ball actually catchable, right? And I don't think this ball is... It's very close. It's very, very close here. Is it catchable, though? I don't know if that's catchable. But then you gotta make the argument, well, if he doesn't grab him and twist him or move him, then it's not catchable. Right? I'm sorry, then it would have been catchable. That's the argument you have to make in that circumstance if, you say it's not catchable. I think there was a lot of contact by both sides. I will definitely say that. I think you could have made the argument. You can make the argument on this play why it's OPI and why it's DPI. You can make the same argument here. Now, first argument is he's not looking back for the football, right? Obviously, he's holding his arm. That right there is defensive pass interference. Now, he pushes off of, it looks like he somewhat pushes off of A.J. Terrell. You could make a thing that's OPI. But I think the reason why he has to do that is because of the DPI. Now, I think it is DPI in the aspect of, obviously, he did do defense pass interference. Now the question is it catchable? Now, I think if the DPI doesn't happen, then yes, it could have been catchable, and that would be, in my opinion, a bad no call. Should have been called there as defensive pass interference. I don't like the aspect of what they just said, though, when they said that, oh, yeah, earlier, the Falcons not the Falcons. DeAndre Hopkins got away with one, so, they kind of just gave it to him there and didn't call that penalty. I don't like that, because that's not fair / actually right. You shouldn't be called certain calls based on the fact of earlier you weren't called or this time you weren't called. You shouldn't be called based on that. It should be every single time. This is OPI. This is DPI. We call it the same way every single time. It shouldn't be like, well, earlier, he didn't get that call, so we're going to give him that call now. Like, no, that's not how it works. I hate when that mentality is used like, well, it wasn't called earlier, so we're going to call it now. Like, no, if it's not called earlier, then don't call it now unless it's legitly a correct penalty.
Trying to go back through the defender. You see that called a lot.
Well, the Bengals are starting to find their way. Joe Burrow looks to be healthier, and a sack for the Tennessee defense.
Stick that arm out there. Might have gotten a little bit of face mask there, but it looked like a clothesline. It happened so quick.
I mean, how are you not even going to show a replay of that? I mean, this is all you're going to show us? Like, show us a slow motion replay. Butterweiser or Weezer, whatever, Weiser. You gotta show a better clip of this, man. Like, I need to see what it is to know if it's controversial or not, because if anything, this could have been like the Lions, versus Packers way back in the day, where the Lions went ahead and went like this to Aaron Rodgers, and he didn't grab his face mask, but he went like this. Rodgers turns his head like this. They call a 15-yard penalty because of the face mask, and then they end up winning the game because of it. But that wasn't a penalty. He didn't grab his face mask. He grabbed his head and slipped off and let go. That is not a penalty. This right here, we don't know if it's a penalty or not, and I can't even give a judgment because they didn't show us another angle. They just showed us this one angle of this play. And that's a really bad, again, I don't even know, because the guy didn't put the actual other clip in there that shows us the other angle. I mean, I love Bud Lee Weiser. You're a great channel, amazing channel, but I just wish you would have showed the other play there. That's all I gotta say.
He has good size, good range. Somebody twitch.
Arthur Smith not happy, saying we're
no
not even
foul
lined
on the
up.
play, as I had not blown the play ready. There's no foul. The play had not been blown in. No.
He said no to Vrabel because Vrabel's on the other side arguing.
Illegal contact.
All right, I don't know why you include that one. I guess just because it's like a hilarious moment, like, oh, well, potentially, it could have been a penalty, but he said he didn't play the... No, the ref has to call the play in, so, yeah, that's kind of weird.
Defense, number 37.
Yeah, you see Lake right here, 37. That's who they get for the illegal contact. It's got CeeDee Lamb running up the seam.
I don't love it, but there is a reroute here. You're going to look at Lake. He's entitled to his position on the football field. And what the officials are taught, if he goes outside his frame, and you can see that lateral movement, and he initiates that contact outside his frame beyond 5 with the quarterback in the pocket with the ball, they're directed to call that. With the quarterback in the...
So, let me get this straight. Hang on. So, because they've been very questionable illegal contact calls so many times. So, illegal contact, I mean, in the context of the actual word, touching someone illegally past 5 yards. I'm so iffy about that because, like, does this change in any way the play at all? Does this stop CeeDee Lamb from getting to his play at all? Nothing. Nothing is changed / altered by him slapping him on that play. So I don't like that call. I think illegal contact is used way too much by referees for really no reason at all. Alright, so I want to look at one more before we end off this video. I don't want to watch the whole entire video. I know I'll watch majority of it. Again, the video will be linked down below in the description if you want to check it out yourself. But I wanted to kind of just watch these last two of this last play right here. This is Chiefs Broncos, and let's just kind of react to what ends up being called.
Holding. Defense number 23.
Wipes out the sack and keeps the Chiefs alive.
Moreau 23. On Kelsey. Gets him up around the collar. Didn't see a whole lot there, Kevin.
Okay. Let's go back and break this down. So, it's called defensive holding, okay? This is what it's called on the play. I think this is a ticky-tack call. But in the context of what defensive holding is called, like actually the penalty, this technically would be defensive holding. But I just feel like this is just them playing... I don't know. I feel like this is them playing aggressive with each other and just playing out the play. I'm always iffy about any type of defensive holding call. Just because I feel like the whole point of defense holding is, it's defensive holding if you change how the receiver runs on the play. You change his trajectory on the play, and you stop him from getting somewhere. Like, for example, he's going an out route. You stop him by turning him around. So, in the context of that, I think as the one, announcer said, I didn't really see much of anything there. It's more or less, I feel like this is just them fighting for the football, not as much of it being a penalty. But I'm not going to say right now that, like, that's the worst call in the world, because it's not. There was definitely a very small amount of defensive holding.
Didn't see a whole lot there, Kevin.
4th and 22. Mahomes getting away from Benito and then just heaving it downfield, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. 5th time he's gotten Mahomes in his career. 29th of his career.
Now watch up the field. Here's Valdez Scantling tugging with McMillan, it looks like.
So there's some question perhaps if Mahomes would come in that last series.
Take a low block.
Okay, yeah, that was PI. That was PI. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't. That was PI. I mean, he was all over the receiver on the throw. It was PI. Good job, Chiefs. You got one call your way. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.